when I think of Tyler, first of all, I didn't know what to think of Tyler because I hadn't really even heard of Tyler until we were connected through a mutual friend. But just doing some research, I was excited to hear that there's also a lot of lakes here, right? And Tyler's known for bass fishing, so you can have that. So you have that inner city, where you have the downtown area of Tyler, but then you can also it's a lot of sportsman's paradise from that standpoint.
There's actually a neighborhood called Sportsman's Paradise. So yes, and my family kind of fell into that firsthand, especially during COVID, because we were all locked up in our house, and we needed to be away from each other and outside. And we've got Tyler State Park, where they've got different hiking trails that you can go through, and there is a lake out on Tyler State Park too. We've got Lake Palestine, which is huge, and managed by the Upper Neches River Authority. And so there's different places for trot lines and fishing. They have huge tournaments and things like that on the weekends. And then once you go further up into Wood County, they actually call that lake country because there's several lakes that have popped up all over, Mineola, Quitman, Lindale, and into Winsboro and Hawkins, and just all these tiny little community towns. But what a great way to find a lake house for under $300,000, which you can't find anywhere.
Wait a second. You could find a lake house for under $300,000?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So that is what's really exciting. So
that's the next carving.
Exactly. So we're going to come back. We're going to see the lake houses, and it's not necessarily the most prettiest of days to go see that, but we'll need to set that up because what's really exciting about, so if you're a Dallas resident, so most of the people that are going to be watching this are from Dallas, they want to go buy a lake house. They want to go buy a second home. Well, the underwriter, if you're going to buy a home as a second home, it's got to be away from your home. You can't buy the house across the street or even 20 miles away from you and call that a vacation home, right? That's an investment property. But if you wanted to, because Tyler is not part of the Dallas metro area. We're probably about, hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, depending, some people get there faster than that, but, but, it's still far enough away where it would qualify as a second home. You can put down 10%, and you can also rent it on Airbnb. And that's a good question. So with Airbnb, are there any restrictions with homes on the lake?
Depends on the lake you're on, and it depends on the neighborhood that you're in. What our MLS is great about is saying it has a whole little blurb for restrictions, and so that's something that we'll go through in the title commitment or just in the bylaws of the community. Most waterfront neighborhoods in East Texas are already going to have bylaws in place to where you just grab it, go through it, see if you can do it, and then check out. I sold one in Quitman during quarantine for that very reason to a couple from Dallas. They were like, we can see the stars from here. We can see the sunset over the lake. It's a $200,000 lake house. Put me on it. And, it's an hour and a half away. So what a great weekender.
That's incredible. It's just something that you can easily drive to. You can finance it with traditional financing it, second home, and you get to get away from it all. And it's at an attractive price point.
Very attractive.
Yeah.